The best time to take risks is when you have nothing. And this is why I've always believed people who aren't yet successful but have the major ambition to be successful are the most dangerous and most likely to become successful. One of my favorite examples of this is Jason Calacanis. Jason is known for being one of the first angel investors in Uber who turned $25K into $100 million. He's also the co-host of the All In podcast, has a large media empire that feeds his fund and conferences and a bunch of other things. It's been years, but this case study from Stanford USP is still one of the most memorable. And fun fact, I actually snuck out of my class to sneak into this class to see him speak because I didn't get into the class the proper way. Welcome back to day 50 of all the best things that I learned at Stanford Business School that I paid $250K to learn that I'm now teaching here for free. What I find so compelling about Jason is that he came from a lower middle class background, saw his parents lose everything, and therefore was driven throughout his entire life from the fear of being poor. He was never afraid to take risks, to bend the rules, to amass power when he had none. For example, when he was rejected from college, he didn't just accept the rejection, he kept going to the college over and over again with new recommendation letters and ultimately ended up getting accepted. Or when he had a tuition issue, instead of working his way through the bursar's office, he went straight to the dean and literally walked into his office and demanded a meeting with the dean and ended up getting a higher paying job in the process. When he was a new grad and came from no money, no experience, no connections, he created his own power. He did this by creating his own magazine and a list called the Silicon Alley 100, where he ranked powerful people on a list. And if Forbes 30 under 30 teaches us anything, it's that people love being on lists. He cold emailed Mark Cuban and successfully got a $300,000 investment in his first startup. I could give many other examples, but this all essentially snowballed into more and more opportunity that he created for himself and therefore created a very successful career now in retrospect. I love this example because as people become more successful, in my experience, people have become way more risk averse. They fear rejection more, they fear ruining their reputation. I admit, even in a tiny small way, as this page has grown, I've been nervous about posting videos sometimes that I'll overthink for days, that I used to post without even thinking about it. And so I think about this case study a lot of how I want to take more risks and act as if I have nothing to lose, because at the end of the day, prestige and being cringe or whatever really doesn't matter. And number two, if you're early in your career, if you're starting with no connection, you don't have a fancy degree, actually see that as a strength. You're in a position where your downside is capped and heavily capped, whereas your upside is completely uncapped. And so why not try?